I haven't posted a video in a while. I haven't been trading. I've been taking this time to really focus on my spiritual connection and rekindling my relationship with God, and just taking the time to really just enjoying what I have and being a good steward to what God has already given me. And one of the parables that really stick out to me is the parable of the talents. And so today I wanted to read this and kind of give you what my breakdown is and share it with you guys. And hopefully it gives you guys some enlightenment in your trading journey. So the parable of the talents. For it will be like a man going on a journey who has called his servants and entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, and talents are kind of like money back in the day. To another two, and to another one, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. He who had received 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. But he who had received the 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master with those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here, I have made 5 talents more. The master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he who had the 2 talents came forward, saying, Master, you delivered me with 2 talents. Here I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also, who had received the 1 talent, came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you do not sow, and gathering where you've scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talents in the ground. Here, you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant. You knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I have not scattered no seed. Then you have ought to invest in my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was with my own entrance. So take the talents from him and give it to the one who has the 10 talents. For to everyone who was who has will be given more, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away, and cast the worthless servant into the outer darkness, in the place where the weeping and the gnashing of teeth. So, it took me a while to understand what this parable meant, and you gotta just sit and just think, They're just saying that God never gives you more than what you can handle. And it's true in this parable. According to each servant, he's given them a different amount according to his abilities. The first one, he's able to handle more, so he had most talents. He had 5. The second one, 2. And the last one, 1. So God will always just give us what we can handle and not any more. And we have to prove to God that we are able to use what He's given us to the best of our abilities, and then He will give us more. So, for example, the 5, he did some business and he made 5 more talents with the 5 talents he's already got. He doubled his um he's doubled his investment. And he came back to the master, and the master was like, Great, you know, I gave you 5, you made 5, well done, you're good and faithful, because the servant was working for his master. That's what his master expected him to do, and That's what he did. Just like us, God expects us to do things, and when we do, we are good and faithful, but when we don't, then we're wicked. Um, so God sees that and he promises the two who um, made some returns on their investment that they will receive much more to handle. Just like our lives, we got to take stuff one at a time, and God will provide us with more stuff. For example, um, right now, I'm still in my trading journey to try to get my first payout, right? God's just not going to give me five, live accounts to trade because I can't handle it right now. I'm going to lose all that money. So what does God do? He gives me the opportunity to learn to trade these evals and express accounts to build myself to be able to handle a big account like that. And once I show him that I'm able to, be consistent, um, hold express accounts, then he will reward me with payouts and uh, at some point in a live account. And we can apply this to anything with our lives. And so for the last one, it kind of shows us what happens when we don't follow God's commandment and take for granted what God has already given us. So the last one pretty much uh, he's like he digs a hole and he kind of just leaves his master's money and just does nothing. He does nothing with it. He's lazy. And when the master comes back, he comes with the excuse. He's like, "Hey, like I know you're a hard man. I was pretty much saying he was scared. So I kind of just left it and what is yours is yours." And the master's like, "You wicked and slothful, or you wicked and lazy servant." And what does he do? He takes that one talent from that servant and gives it to the one who's able to prove to the master that he's able to handle more. So who who does the last servant represent? He represents someone who is lazy, who kind of takes for granted what God has already given him. Uh, I'll give you an example because I relate to this the most. I'm a college kid, and sometimes, a lot of college kids complain about how we don't have any time. We don't have free time, so busy studying. But I beg to differ. I know what it feels like to work 40-hour weeks and just come home 9 to 5 and then, take care of whatever chores and whatnot you have to take care of. Props up to you guys who work full time and still trade to try to get a better life. I pray for you guys because that is hard and very respectable. But me, a college kid, I have all this free time, and someone who doesn't appreciate God's blessings, takes advantage of this free time. Instead of using this time to better themselves and you know just use that time to work hard and to get to that path that God has already set to you. Use that time just to scroll on TikTok, just be lazy, lounge around. You're just wasting time away. You're just wasting what God has given you, wasting the opportunity, the blessing of the opportunity to grow. Um, that's an example. And we got to try really hard to not be like that last servant because as we can see that God has taken his blessings away and gave it to the one who's proven to be successful. And we got to sit down and think, what will happen if I become like that third servant? You know, if I don't work hard, if I just spend all my time on TikTok playing video games, just wasting my time away in college, all this free time I have, what will happen? A, I can fail school if I don't do any of my schoolwork. I can just waste on all the money and time I've had on trading because I've given up. And, you know, when I lose that opportunity, the opportunity goes to another. So we got to seize that moment. So I've been thinking about this parable for about a good week now, and I've been spending a lot of time outside, just, fishing and whatnot, and just admiring God's creativity and beauty, but also just reflecting on what areas of my life that I've have not given its full gratitude. And one of the main things I focused on this week instead of trading was how to be a good steward to what I already have. And so, for example, my girlfriend, she is my number one supporter. And I just really sat there and think, how blessed am I to have someone support me through this trading journey? A lot of us go through this journey alone, and it's hard. All the feelings and emotions that come with it, everything comes, everything in the darkness of our personalities and our character comes out to light. And it's it's real disgusting. I never knew how impulsive I could be, how impatient, how greedy, all these bad things. And the one who was there to see it all was her. And I was just spending the time just to really think and ponder and how grateful I am and how God has blessed me with this. And everybody has different blessings. Not everyone, has the same ones. But just I want everyone to just sit and ponder about, how many good things God has already given you and how many opportunities that He has given you to grow and do His glory or do His will in the glory of God. And so I want to leave this message here with you guys, and I hope that this helps you out. Uh, I'll probably be trading next week. I probably won't be trading too much this week. We have a holiday tomorrow, and then I'm going on a trip this weekend. See a longtime friend. So yeah. Oh, also, before I leave, there's no point in grinding your life away. Um, I was I was definitely in that position where I just sat there and just like, dude, I gotta back test 24/7. I can't see anybody, and my, my outside life was just getting deteriorated, man. Enjoy yourself, man. Life is meant to be enjoyed as well. Um, don't focus too hard on, being profitable. Um, just focus on God, and He will just give you the balance that you need. Well, that's it for today. We'll see you guys later. Stay faithful, my friends.